You ever wonder why some people seem unshakable, no matter what storms come their way? Why they can walk through chaos, criticism, or setbacks and still stand tall while others collapse under the weight of the smallest challenge? Deep inside, you know that life will always test you. It will throw disappointments, betrayals, failures, and fears in your path. But the real question is this: will you let those things control you? Or will you learn the power of becoming untouchable, unshakable, unstoppable? Every single person craves peace and strength. You crave it too. You don't want to wake up every morning fearing what might go wrong or replaying in your mind what went wrong yesterday. You don't want to keep being shaped by the opinions of others, living at the mercy of circumstances you cannot control. What you truly want is freedom, the kind of freedom where nothing outside of you has the power to break you inside. That's what you're here for. That's what this moment is about. The truth is, most people live trapped. They are slaves to the outside world. A single negative comment can ruin their day. A small rejection can steal their confidence. A minor failure can convince them to quit altogether. And yet those who rise to greatness, those who achieve peace and unshakable power, learn a different way of living. They live by principles that shield them from being broken by life's storms. They don't avoid struggle, but they become strong enough to transform struggle into growth. That is the power you can build starting today. You must understand something very important. The world is not going to stop testing you. Life doesn't get easier, but you can get stronger. You can build the kind of inner foundation that nothing can touch. You can carry yourself in a way that says, no matter what happens, I will not be broken. Imagine the freedom of walking through your day knowing that no insult, no failure, no fear, no loss has the power to destroy your spirit. Imagine the power of knowing that everything outside of you can change, but inside you remain steady, calm, and unshakable. That is the gift you are about to receive. If you stay here over the next few minutes, you will uncover powerful principles, each one designed to protect you from being controlled by the world around you. These are not empty ideas. They are practices proven by psychology, by science, and by the lives of people who turn their pain into strength. Each principle is a tool, and when you put them together, they form armor. Not armor that makes you cold or distant, but armor that gives you strength, clarity, and peace no matter what you face. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear has the power to change everything. If you've been tired of letting people's opinions crush your spirit, if you've been tired of letting fear stop you, if you've been tired of being knocked down by setbacks, then this is your turning point. By the end, you will know how to stand tall no matter what storm surrounds you. You will know how to walk with calm confidence even when everything feels uncertain. You will finally understand how to live in a way where nothing outside of you has the power to break the fire that burns within you. The first step to becoming untouchable is understanding that your mind is the battlefield. Every thought you allow has power. Every emotion you feed becomes a force that shapes your reality. Most people live their lives reacting, letting anger, fear, or doubt run wild, giving energy to things that do not deserve it. They hand over their power to the world, believing that life's circumstances define their worth, their mood, and their peace. But what if you could take it all back? What if you could train your mind to remain calm, focused, and strong, no matter what chaos surrounds you? Your mind is a garden, and every thought is a seed. If you allow fear, resentment, and self-doubt to grow, they will consume you. But if you plant courage, clarity, and self-belief, you will cultivate an unshakable inner fortress. It begins with awareness. Notice the thoughts that pull you down. Observe the patterns that keep you trapped. Awareness is not judgment. It is power. It is the first step toward taking control of your inner world, toward refusing to be controlled by the outer one. The moment you recognize that you have the ability to choose your response is the moment the world begins to lose its grip on you. You must understand the incredible strength and emotional control. Emotions are not weaknesses. They are signals. They are data, guiding you to understand yourself better. But letting them dictate your actions, letting them enslave your mind will leave you vulnerable. Learning to feel without losing yourself, to acknowledge without overreacting, to respond with intention rather than instinct. This is what separates those who crumble from those who rise. You are capable of mastering your emotions. You are capable of standing tall while others around you panic, crumble, or lash out. That mastery is freedom. That mastery is power. Discipline becomes your ally, not the harsh, punishing kind that forces you into rigidity, but the quiet, consistent discipline that shapes your mind, refines your character, and builds unshakable resilience. It is in the small, repeated actions where true strength is forged. Waking up each day and choosing calm over chaos, choosing focus over distraction, choosing growth over complaint. This is where you carve out your immunity to life storms. The world cannot touch you when your foundation is built on these unshakable principles. And imagine the ripple effect of this inner strength. When your mind is steady, your emotions balanced, and your choices deliberate, you stop giving power to the opinions, judgments, and negativity of others. People may try to provoke you. Circumstances may challenge you, but you will respond not with fear, not with anger, but with unwavering control. Every interaction, every challenge, every unexpected setback becomes a test of your strength, and you will pass with a calm confidence that feels like armor. This is the reward for taking control of your mind, a life where nothing outside of you can determine your worth, your happiness, or your peace. Now imagine living every day in this state. Imagine stepping into the world knowing that no criticism will wound you, no failure will define you, no circumstance will unbalance you. The sense of liberation is profound. It is a power that feels effortless because it comes from deep within. This is not fantasy. This is attainable. It begins with one decision: to take back control of your mind, to cultivate awareness, to master your emotions, and to commit to the quiet discipline that builds resilience. This is the cornerstone of becoming untouchable. This is where your transformation begins. Control over your mind and emotions is only the beginning. The next layer of invincibility lies in understanding the power of perspective. How you interpret the world determines how it affects you. Two people can experience the exact same event, yet one crumbles under its weight while the other grows stronger. The difference is not circumstance, it is perception. You have the ability to choose how you see everything that happens to you. You can decide whether a challenge is a threat or an opportunity. You can decide whether criticism is a weapon or a lesson. The world only has the power you give it, and perception is the key to taking that power back. Your perception can either trap you in a cycle of suffering or elevate you to a state of freedom. Every negative thought that tells you life is unfair is a chain around your mind. Every moment you allow yourself to feel helpless gives the world control over your inner state. But when you shift your perception, when you choose to see adversity as training, setbacks as feedback, and pain as growth, everything changes. Suddenly nothing can touch you. Suddenly the world becomes neutral, a canvas on which you can paint your own reality. This is not about pretending life is easy. It's about choosing the lens through which you experience it. You have the power to filter every experience through strength rather than fear. You can choose to notice the lessons hidden inside every struggle, the growth hidden inside every failure, and the opportunity hidden inside every loss. Life will continue to challenge you, but when you operate from this perspective, challenges no longer paralyze you. They shape you, they refine you, they strengthen the foundation that nothing can shake. Your mind becomes a sanctuary, and your heart becomes an engine of resilience. No outside force can control your inner world, because you have learned to see the truth beneath appearances. This awareness creates a sense of calm that others will envy. When you stop reacting automatically to every situation, when you see events without the distortion of fear or anger, you begin to experience clarity. Decisions become easier, actions become more purposeful, and your energy stops being drained by things that do not serve you. The world may remain unpredictable, but your response becomes deliberate. Every step you take is anchored in strength. Every thought is a choice. Every emotion is managed, refined, and directed toward growth. Your freedom from external control begins with perception, but it extends to every part of your life. When you view obstacles as teachers rather than punishers, you start to walk through life with confidence. Criticism no longer cuts you, setbacks no longer paralyze you, failure no longer defines you. The world can test you, provoke you, and try to shake you, but your inner state remains solid. It is untouchable because you have chosen to see everything differently. You have chosen to take control of the lens through which life reaches you, and in doing so, you have reclaimed your power. Imagine a life where your mind is calm, your emotions are steady, and your perception is aligned with strength rather than fear. Imagine waking up every morning knowing that no outside circumstance has the power to destabilize you. The peace you feel is profound. The confidence you radiate is magnetic. You become unstoppable, not because life bends to your will, but because your will cannot be broken by life. Perspective is the force that transforms adversity into advantage, chaos into clarity, and weakness into unshakable strength. This is the principle that turns a reactive mind into a fortress of resilience, and it is yours to claim. True freedom comes when you stop seeking approval from others. The moment you realize that the opinions of people who do not truly know you cannot define your worth, your energy shifts. Most of the pain in life comes from giving power to voices that were never meant to guide us, from bending to expectations that belong to someone else, from chasing validation that is fleeting and shallow. Imagine how light your life would feel if every decision, every action, every emotion came from your own sense of truth instead of the need to be accepted. That is a power few understand, but it is a power you can claim right now. Approval is addictive. We seek it because we want to feel safe, loved, and valued. But when we tie our self-worth to it, we give away the most precious thing we have, our autonomy. Every compliment or criticism then becomes a lever that shifts our mood, our focus, our confidence. We begin to react rather than act, to doubt rather than decide. To be untouchable, you must break that cycle. You must choose yourself over the expectations of the world. You must honor your own voice, your own values, your own vision for life. The moment you do, nothing outside of you can destabilize your sense of self. This does not mean you ignore others or live in isolation. It means that you no longer allow external approval to dictate your actions. You act from conviction, not consent. You choose your path based on your principles, not public opinion. Every step becomes intentional. Every decision becomes aligned with the person you truly want to become. Criticism may come, rejection may happen, and the world may try to sway you, but your foundation remains solid. You operate from a place of self-respect, inner clarity, and unwavering focus, and that is unshakable. The freedom that comes from detaching from approval is profound. Anxiety fades because you no longer fear judgment. Confidence rises because you no longer need permission to exist fully. Strength grows because you begin to trust yourself over the noise of the crowd. You start to realize that external forces are not threats. They are neutral. Only your own perception, only your own alignment with truth determines whether they affect you. And when you live from that place, you move through life with an authority that others cannot touch. They may try to provoke you, but provocation falls flat. They may try to influence you, but influence fails. Nothing has power over you that you do not give it. This principle also fuels courage. When you stop seeking approval, you stop fearing failure. Every risk becomes an opportunity. Every challenge becomes a chance to assert your values. You step forward into life with clarity and determination because you are guided not by fear of rejection, but by the strength of your own convictions. That is a liberation that cannot be taken away. That is a force that cannot be broken. You become untouchable because your inner compass, your sense of self, and your purpose are unshakable. Picture living this way, where your decisions, actions, and emotions are yours alone. Imagine walking through the world unbothered by criticism, unshaken by judgment, and unstoppable in the pursuit of your goals. The relief, the confidence, the power you feel in that moment is transformative. This is the principle that separates the reactive from the unshakable, the ordinary from the extraordinary. By claiming your independence from the need for approval, you claim control over your life in a way that nothing else can take away. The next layer of strength comes from mastering your focus. Your attention is the most powerful tool you have, yet so many people allow it to be hijacked by distractions, doubts, and the chaos of life around them. Every notification, every opinion, every drama you consume steals energy from what truly matters. Every moment spent worrying about what cannot be changed, every second wasted on comparison, chips away at your power. To become untouchable, you must learn to direct your focus with precision, to invest your energy in what serves you, and to ignore everything else. Focus is not just about productivity. It is about control over your inner world. When your attention is scattered, your emotions follow. Your mind becomes reactive. your body tense, your spirit vulnerable. But when you choose where to place your focus, when you consciously decide what you allow into your consciousness, you become the master of your own experience. Your mind stops being a battlefield and becomes a command center. You stop reacting to the world and start shaping it from within. This requires clarity about your priorities. You must know what deserves your attention and what is a waste of energy. Every thought, every emotion, every action must align with your highest purpose. The distractions that once dominated your day no longer have a hold on you. You learn to say no to the trivial and yes to the meaningful. You invest in what grows you, what strengthens you, and what moves you toward mastery over your life. Focus becomes not just a habit. It becomes your shield, your weapon, and your path to freedom. The power of focus also builds resilience. When you train your mind to concentrate on what matters, external chaos loses its grip. Noise fades in the background. Criticism bounces off like water on stone. The storms of life may rage, but your inner attention is steady, unwavering, anchored in clarity. You develop the ability to act decisively, think strategically, and remain calm in the face of disruption. The world may try to pull you in every direction, but your focus keeps you grounded, your energy intact, and your progress unstoppable. Focus sharpens every other principle you are building: your awareness, your emotional control, your perspective, your independence from approval. All of these are amplified when your attention is deliberate. The mind that is focused cannot be manipulated, distracted, or overwhelmed. It becomes a fortress where clarity reigns and weakness cannot penetrate. Your energy becomes concentrated, your will becomes powerful, and your presence becomes magnetic. People sense it, even if they cannot explain it. You carry a calm authority that comes from complete alignment of attention, thought, and action. Imagine living each day with this level of focus, where your mind is not pulled by fear, doubt, or distraction, but is firmly anchored in purpose. Imagine waking up with a clear direction, moving through life with intention, and navigating challenges with precision. The sense of control, strength, and inner peace you experience is unlike anything else. Focus is not just a skill. It is a transformation. It is a principle that turns chaos into order, distraction into power, and ordinary existence into unshakable. Mastery over yourself and the world around you. This is the force that protects your mind, strengthens your spirit, and ensures that nothing outside of you can ever truly affect you. Discipline is a bridge between potential and power. Without it, focus, perspective, and independence from approval cannot fully protect you. Discipline is not punishment or rigidity. It is the act of taking control over yourself when every impulse, desire, and distraction tells you to give in. It is the quiet force that moves you forward when motivation fades, when energy is low, and when the world seems to conspire against your growth. Discipline is what turns intention into action, and action into unshakable strength. Most people underestimate how much freedom discipline creates. They see it as limitation, as restriction, as a form of suffering. But the truth is the opposite. Discipline is the path to autonomy. When you are disciplined, you no longer react to fleeting emotions or external chaos. You move deliberately. You choose your habits, your routines, and your behaviors with precision. Your inner world becomes predictable and strong because it is guided by consistency, not impulse. Every day, every choice, every action becomes an investment in your invincibility. Discipline is built in the small things. Waking up early when your body wants to sleep. Saying no to distractions when they promise pleasure, but steal power. Doing what must be done, even when it feels hard, inconvenient, or uncomfortable. Every choice like this strengthens the muscle of your will. Every act of self-control compounds into a sense of authority over your own life. You stop being reactive. You stop being tossed around by circumstances, opinions, or emotions. You become steady, grounded, and untouchable. This consistency creates confidence. When you know you can show up for yourself day after day, when you follow through even when no one is watching, a quiet power forms inside you. Others may doubt you, challenges may arise, and setbacks may occur, but your confidence is rooted in proof, the proof of your own discipline. You trust yourself because you have earned it. Your actions, your habits, your resilience all demonstrate that nothing outside of you can shake your inner strength. Discipline also fuels courage. It allows you to confront fear. endure discomfort, and take action when hesitation would dominate. The world will always test your resolve, but discipline gives you the ability to respond from power rather than panic. You act with intention, even when uncertainty looms. You persevere, even when obstacles appear insurmountable. You transform resistance into momentum. Every disciplined decision reinforces the fact that your power is self-generated and self-sustained. Imagine living a life where your actions are not dictated by impulses, emotions, or the whims of others. Imagine moving through every challenge with certainty, confidence, and control. Every step is intentional. Every choice aligns with your vision. Every habit strengthens the foundation that nothing outside of you can break. Discipline is the engine that converts inner awareness into unstoppable force. It is the principle that ensures that focus, perspective, and independence from approval are not just concepts, but live realities that make you impervious to the chaos of life. This is the power that turns ordinary people into unshakable forces, and it is yours to claim. Your emotions are not your master, they are your tool. Most people allow anger, fear, sadness, or anxiety to dictate their actions, their decisions, and their sense of self. Every time you react impulsively, every time a mood controls your choices, you give away power that should belong to you. But imagine what life would feel like if every emotion became a guide instead of a weapon. If you could experience fully without being consumed. If nothing outside could provoke you into weakness. That is the freedom of emotional mastery, and it is essential if nothing is ever to affect you. Emotional mastery begins with awareness. You cannot control what you do not notice. Every feeling that arises is a signal, not a command. Anger tells you where boundaries have been crossed. Fear shows you where growth is possible. Anxiety highlights uncertainty that needs attention. The moment you observe your emotions without judgment, without surrender, you reclaim power. You learn that feeling deeply does not mean being powerless, and reacting instinctively does not mean living fully. The space between stimulus and response is your realm of freedom, and in that space, you decide who controls your life. Controlling your response does not mean suppressing your feelings. It means understanding them, channeling them, and choosing your action deliberately. Every time you pause before reacting, you train your mind to act from strength rather than weakness. You stop being a slave to triggers and you begin to operate from clarity, intention, and resilience. Your emotions become allies rather than enemies, signals rather than shackles. This transforms your interactions, your decisions, and your entire life because the chaos of the external world no longer dictates your inner state. This mastery creates unshakable calm. The world will continue to challenge you. People will criticize, opportunities will be lost, plans will fail. Without emotional control, these events can destroy your peace. With mastery, they merely pass through. You feel, you assess, you act, but you do not crumble. You maintain composure, even in the face of adversity. You carry a calm authority that others cannot understand, but instinctively respect. Emotional mastery is the foundation of presence. The invisible force that communicates strength without a word, the quiet confidence that makes you untouchable. Emotional control also strengthens decision-making. When you remove impulsive reactions from the equation, choices become deliberate and strategic. You act with precision, guided by your principles and long-term goals rather than fleeting moods. Challenges become opportunities to demonstrate resilience rather than sources of frustration. Every interaction, every problem, every obstacle is an exercise in mastery, a chance to prove to yourself that your inner world cannot be shaken, manipulated, or stolen. Imagine waking each day fully aware of your emotional power. Imagine encountering criticism without hurt, obstacles without panic, fear without paralysis. Every emotion becomes a teacher, every response a demonstration of strength, and every decision a step toward invincibility. Emotional mastery turns the unpredictable, uncontrollable world into a landscape where you move with confidence, purpose, and calm authority. Nothing outside you can penetrate this force because your power comes from within, and it is unbreakable. Your environment shapes you more than you realize. Every sound, every conversation, every image and influence you allow into your life has the power to strengthen or weaken you. Most people unconsciously absorb the energy of those around them, the chaos of the world, and the noise of media, letting it dictate their mood, their choices, and their sense of self. To become truly untouchable, you must become the curator of your own environment. You must control what enters your mind, what occupies your attention, and what defines your daily experience. This does not mean isolating yourself from the world or living in fear of influence. It means choosing what deserves your energy and rejecting what steals it. Your home, your digital space, your relationships, even the places you frequent, must support the person you are becoming. Every object, every sound, every interaction should strengthen your clarity, your purpose, and your emotional resilience. By shaping your environment intentionally, you create a space where growth is inevitable and distractions are minimal. Your inner power is reflected in the world you inhabit. The people you surround yourself with are the most significant part of your environment. Energy is contagious. Optimism, focus, discipline, and courage multiply when shared, while negativity, doubt, and laziness erode your strength. To be untouchable, you must associate with those who elevate you, challenge you constructively, and inspire the highest version of yourself. Limit exposure to those who drain your energy, foster fear, or provoke unnecessary drama. Every relationship becomes either a stepping stone or a weight. Choose wisely, because your inner peace, clarity, and momentum depend on it. Your physical and mental environment must also be disciplined. Clutter in your surroundings creates clutter in your mind. Noise outside your focus creates noise within your thoughts. Every distraction that competes for attention weakens your ability to remain centered, resilient, and strong. Create spaces that encourage concentration, creativity, and calm. Establish routines that protect your mental clarity. Guard your time and energy like the precious resources they are. When you do, the chaos of the outside world has nowhere to infiltrate. Intentional environments amplify all the principles you are building. Focus, discipline, emotional mastery, and perspective all thrive when supported by a space that reflects your inner strength. It is impossible to sustain power when constantly bombarded with negativity, clutter, or chaotic influences. By controlling your surroundings, you reduce friction, enhance clarity, and magnify resilience. Every element of your environment becomes a tool that reinforces your unshakable state of being. Imagine living in a life where every space, every interaction, every influence supports your highest self. Imagine waking up surrounded by order, positivity, and energy that strengthens you rather than drains you. Imagine walking through the world with a shield of intention that filters out distractions, negativity, and chaos. Your environment becomes a silent ally, amplifying your focus, your discipline, your emotional control, and your ability to remain untouchable. When the world tries to pull you off balance, the environment you have cultivated reinforces the truth. Nothing outside can affect the strength you have built inside. Your thoughts are the architects of your reality. Every belief you hold, every idea you entertain, every inner conversation shapes how you experience the world and how the world responds to you. Most people let their minds wander freely, accepting every negative thought, doubt, and fear as truth. This is why so many feel powerless, overwhelmed, or easily shaken. To become untouchable, you must take ownership of your mind. You must become the master of your thoughts, the gatekeeper of your beliefs, and the commander of your inner dialogue. The mind is incredibly powerful, and the thoughts you feed it dictate your reality. When you dwell on what could go wrong, on criticism or a failure, you attract doubt, hesitation, and weakness. When you focus on possibility, growth, and resilience, you cultivate strength, courage, and clarity. Emotional mastery and discipline are amplified when thought becomes intentional. The key is to notice your thoughts without judgment and consciously choose which ones to amplify and which ones to release. Every thought is either a tool or a chain. Choose wisely. Negative thoughts are often automatic, born from habit, fear, or past conditioning. They arise uninvited, and if left unchecked, they control your feelings, decisions, and actions. But awareness creates power. By observing your mind, you interrupt the autopilot that keeps you reactive. You create a gap between thought and action. In that gap lies your freedom. You can choose which thoughts define you and which thoughts you discard. You no longer react unconsciously to triggers, circumstances, or opinions. You decide, and in that decision, you find invincibility. Cultivating positive and empowering thoughts is not about denying reality. It is about strengthening perception. It is about interpreting challenges as opportunities, setbacks as lessons, and criticism as feedback for growth. Every thought aligned with your highest self reinforces confidence, clarity, and resilience. The mind that is trained, disciplined, and directed cannot be shaken by external chaos. When fear or doubt arises, it is met with reason, strategy, and calm determination. This is the inner fortress that makes you untouchable. Your imagination is a tool for transformation. Visualize yourself unshakable, calm, and fully in control. Picture yourself responding to adversity with clarity and courage. Every mental rehearsal strengthens neural pathways that embed confidence and mastery into your subconscious. The more you practice intentional thought, the more automatic it becomes. Your mind evolves from a source of anxiety and limitation into a launch pad for power and freedom. Imagine living with a mind that serves you rather than controls you. Imagine thoughts that inspire action, clarity that resists doubt, and inner dialogue that reinforces strength. Every choice, every action, and every reaction is informed by intentional thought. The chaos of the world may roar around you, but within there is quiet certainty. Nothing can affect the mind that has been trained to observe, direct, and empower itself. Here, at this level of mental mastery, you are truly untouchable. Your time is your most valuable asset, yet most people surrender it without thought. Hours vanish in distractions, endless scrolling, meaningless conversations, and pursuits that add nothing to their growth. Every moment spent unconsciously is energy lost, influence wasted, and potential surrendered. To become untouchable, you must guard your time as fiercely as you guard your mind, your emotions, and your environment. Time is the canvas on which your life is painted, and how you use it determines the quality, impact, and fulfillment of every single day. Every action you take is a vote for the life you are building. When you waste time on trivialities, you reinforce weakness, distraction, and passivity. When you invest time deliberately, learning, creating, strengthening, growing, you reinforce discipline, power, and resilience. The decision to honor your time is a decision to honor yourself. It is a declaration that your life is not for chaos, reaction, or approval. It is for mastery, clarity, and purpose. The more you protect your hours, the more untouchable your state of being becomes. Boundaries are essential. Every interruption you allow, every obligation you accept out of guilt or fear, chips away at your inner strength. To command your life, you must define what is worth your attention and what is not. This means saying no to distractions, draining relationships, and obligations that do not align with your purpose. Saying no is not selfish. It is the act of prioritizing the highest version of yourself. Every moment reclaimed from distraction strengthens focus, resilience, and personal power. Time management is not about rigid schedules alone. It is about intentionality. Every morning, you can choose what deserves your energy and what will be ignored. Every evening, you can reflect on how your time was spent and adjust consciously. These small, deliberate choices compound into a life that is unshakable. Your days begin to align with your values, your goals, and your vision. The chaos of the external world cannot penetrate the rhythm of a life lived intentionally. When you honor your time, your energy multiplies. You no longer feel scattered or drained. You act with clarity and purpose. You create a feedback loop of discipline, focus, and resilience. Every hour spent building, learning, and improving strengthens the fortress of your inner power. Nothing outside can steal what you have carefully protected and cultivated. You become untouchable because you have mastered the single resource every human must use wisely, time itself. Imagine walking through life fully aware that every second is a choice. Imagine living with a schedule, habits, and priorities that amplify your strength rather than deplete it. Imagine the peace, the confidence, and the unstoppable momentum that comes from controlling your time. Every distraction ignored, every focus maintained, every intentional moment experienced reinforces the truth that nothing outside can touch you when your inner world and your daily actions are aligned. Time becomes your ally, and with it, you rise to a level of unshakable power few ever achieve. Your emotions are not your enemy, but they are not your master either. Every day, people allow fleeting feelings, anger, fear, frustration, jealousy to dictate their actions, their words, and their sense of self. When you surrender to emotions without control, the world becomes a storm, and you are tossed endlessly by the waves. To become untouchable, you must learn to observe your emotions without letting them govern you. You must feel fully, but respond intentionally. Emotional mastery is not suppression. It is liberation. Every emotion carries a message. Fear signals an area where growth is possible. Anger highlights boundaries that need to be respected. Frustration reveals a desire unfulfilled. Recognizing the purpose behind each feeling transforms it from a chain into a tool. When you acknowledge emotions without judgment, you strip them of their power to control your actions. You create space for clarity, for reason, and for conscious decision-making. This space is where true resilience is forged. Most people react impulsively, allowing emotions to dictate words and behaviors. These reactions leave them vulnerable, exposed to regret, conflict, and instability. But when you step back and observe, a new power emerges. You become the calm in every storm, the steady force that refuses to be shaken. Emotional mastery allows you to respond rather than react. It gives you authority over your internal state, making external chaos irrelevant. Discipline of emotion requires practice and awareness. Every time you feel a surge of anger or fear, pause, breathe, question the source, decide how you will act. This simple process, repeated consistently, rewires the mind to prioritize clarity and control over impulsivity. Over time, you will find that the intensity of emotional waves diminishes and the strength of your calm presence increases. People, circumstances, and challenges lose their ability to destabilize you. You are anchored in a state of inner power. Emotions are powerful motivators, but only when harnessed consciously. Channeling energy from frustration into action, from fear into preparation, from sadness into reflection, transforms vulnerability into strength. Every moment of mastery reinforces the truth that nothing external can dismantle your internal equilibrium. The stronger your emotional control, the more unstoppable you become. You begin to navigate life with precision, confidence, and purpose, no longer at the mercy of transient feelings. Imagine a life where emotions energize rather than derail you. Picture yourself responding to criticism with calm understanding, facing fear with courage, and moving through frustration with determination. Each emotional challenge becomes a stepping stone toward mastery, not a trap to be avoided. The world may provoke, challenge, or pressure you, but inside, there is a fortress of composure and strength. Emotional mastery is not optional, it is essential. It transforms vulnerability into invincibility, and it ensures that nothing outside can touch the unshakable power you have cultivated within. Your mind is a battlefield where your freedom is won or lost. Every thought that goes unexamined becomes a seed of doubt, fear, or limitation. Most people let their minds run wild, reacting to every impulse, worrying about every possibility, surrendering control to a torrent of mental noise. To be untouchable, you must take command of your thoughts. You must become the observer and the architect of your inner world, sculpting your mental landscape with intention, clarity, and unwavering focus. Every thought carries energy. Thoughts of fear, anger, or self-doubt drain your power. Thoughts of focus, gratitude, and determination multiply it. By choosing what to dwell on and what to release, you shape not only your mindset, but the reality you experience. The external world only has as much influence as the mind allows. A trained mind sees opportunity where others see obstacles. A controlled mind finds calm where others feel chaos. Master your thoughts and the world cannot destabilize you. Discipline of the mind begins with awareness. Notice the patterns that arise when you are stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed. Question them. Challenge them. Replace them deliberately with thoughts that serve your growth, your strength, and your purpose. This is not an instant transformation. It is a practice, a daily commitment. Each repetition strengthens neural pathways that reinforce clarity, resilience, and focus. Over time, you begin to experience a profound sense of freedom because your mind is no longer a battlefield of chaos, but a command center of power. External events are neutral until interpreted by the mind. Criticism, setbacks, and failures hold no inherent power. Only the meaning you assign to them does. When you control that meaning, you reclaim authority over your state of being. Nothing outside can harm your confidence if your mind refuses to give it power. Nothing can steal your peace if you refuse to interpret the world through fear, resentment, or self-doubt. Mental mastery transforms vulnerability into invincibility because power begins where perception begins. Meditation, reflection, and focused practice are tools to strengthen your mind. Every moment spent observing your thoughts without attachment sharpens your awareness. Every deliberate choice to shift perspective builds resilience. Every instance of redirecting attention toward growth strengthens your inner fortress. This is how untouchable people think. They do not react impulsively. They respond intentionally. They do not surrender to chaos. They shape it. They do not allow the world to define them. They define themselves. Imagine a life where your mind is a weapon of clarity, focus, and calm, where challenges are opportunities, criticism is fuel, and fear is a guide, not a jailer. Where external chaos bounces off the walls of your consciousness,